Good afternoon. My name is Leon Harris, and I'm a recent graduate of University of Houston Downtown, and I am applying for a position at Nolan Ryan Junior High School as a middle school math teacher. Though I'm a recent graduate, I have a lot of experience in teaching. My first career was in the Navy as an electronics technician, and the last three of which I spent teaching electronics technician A school in Great Lakes, Illinois. Upon leaving the Navy, I joined a small IT training company, and for 3 years I taught IT classes for companies such as Delta, CDC, and IBM. During that time, I learned enough about IT to actually begin a career in IT, which lasted quite a while, and finally culminating in positions as an engineer and as a director of IT for a company here in Houston named Metadata Solutions. The reason I'm applying to your junior high school is because I've always wanted to teach. For various reasons, I took a very, circuitous path to teaching, but it's been part of what I've wanted to do. I got into management as a way to mentor and coach and teach as well in my IT career, and I'm finally completed my studies and would like to be considered for a position on your team as a member of your teaching staff to demonstrate some of the abilities that I have in mathematics, which is my passion, and I've always wanted to teach. Allow me. So what I will do is demonstrate a couple of simple mathematical equations or algebraic equations and solve for x. So the equation I've written on the board here is 9x plus 7 equals 34. So with this equation, we would like to isolate x on one side of the equation and the answer on the other. The first step is to subtract 7 from both sides, because 7 is on this side of the equation with x. It also has a 9 there, but we'll deal with that shortly. The first thing we need to do is move 7. The way to do that is to subtract 7 from both sides of the equation. Which gives us 9x plus and minus 7 is equal to 0 equals 34 minus 7, which is 27. And now to deal with the 9. To deal with the 9 that's next to x here in the equation on the left side of the equation, we divide both sides of the equation by 9. The answer, or the result, is x is equal to 3. And now something a little more difficult. Let's see. Now we have an exponent in the equation. And in this case, the problem I've written on the board is x squared minus 4 equals 0. Now, again, we have 4 by itself, and we have to isolate x. So what we'll do here is add 4 to both sides. Now, whether you add or subtract is dependent on the sign in front of the 4. I couldn't add 4 to both sides because then I end up with x squared plus 4. I couldn't rather subtract 4 from both sides because then I end up with x squared minus 8 is equal to negative 8 or negative 4. But in this case, we add 4 to both sides and we end up with x squared is equal to 4 because these two cancel each other out, the negative 4 and the plus 4. So we have x squared is equal to 4. And now we take the square root. X is now to the second power. By taking the square root, we isolate x. So we take the square root of both sides, and you get x is equal to 2. Now, basic algebra also calls for you to have to factor. And by factoring, you have a problem such as this: x squared plus 4x plus 4. When you factor equations, you have to assume several things. The last, and this is equal to 0, I'm sorry. The last sign or the last function that you perform will tell you what the end product needs to be. So if you have x squared here, you know you're going to have x times x plus, because both signs are plus, and then you have to figure out what number combination will give you 4 here, ultimately. Because the order procedure is the first two times the last two plus these two times the second two, the middle two times the last two. So x plus 2 times x plus 2, let's see what that equals. That's the first guess in terms of figuring out whether it's 4. So x times x is x squared plus, remember the outside 2, plus 2x plus 2x again plus 4. Or the same as our original equation, x squared plus 2x and plus 2x is plus 4x plus 4. Now these are simple equations, but it's the foundation of a lot of what we do in algebra. So hopefully this, along with my resume, my grades, I currently hold a 3.8 average, and my experience, make me a candidate for your position. Thank you very much for your consideration.